Welcome back, Guardians. Okay, I like my Hunter a whole lot more. So why do I have a Titan and a Warlock? Because I'm going to tell you one thing. Because the Destiny has always Destiny 2 has split progress between account and character. Your account progress is all the inventory and bright dust and glimmer that your character can have. We're not going to have legendary shards anymore, so I'm not going to talk about them anymore. So anything you collect into your inventory is shared amongst your 3 character slots. Why do we have 3 character slots? Well, because Bungie wants us to have a Titan, a Hunter, and a Warlock. They want us to play with all 3 of them. Why do they want us to play with all 3 of them? Because they want this game to take as much of our time as possible, so we don't have time to play anything else. That's just a business practice when it comes to games, okay, or any service like this. Destiny is also the fattest gigahog on your console. I play Elder Scrolls Online, Conan Exiles, and Minecraft, and Destiny 2. I play other games, but nearly not as much to count them. And Minecraft only takes up 10.7 gigabytes. I can remember a time when it was in the megs. When it was Java, it was in the megs. For some reason, Bedrock is way much beefier. Probably because of all the shop assets. Elder Scrolls Online, which is an actual MMORPG, not cross-platform, by the way. Okay, just MMOR, just a PlayStation. They have it on Xbox and have it on PC, but I don't think we have cross-play in ESO yet. But you have an entire continent that you're playing on, with multiple instances, player housing, which is like sub-servers, like a little pocket universe for you to go into. And you can have up to 12 characters running. Not at the same time, obviously, but you can have up to 12 characters. And this is because there are actual character classes. And no, the Nightblade does not do anything that any of the other classes do, nor do any of the other classes do what the Nightblade can do. There is some basic overlap, some simple martial and magical skills that all the characters share, but it's not the majority of their builds. It's not like out of 15 abilities, 8 of them are shared amongst all the character classes. No, it's like a handful, like 5 or 6, which is a handful. You get it? 5 fingers on your hand. Conan Exiles, which is a multiplayer game, but not an MMO. Static map, but you can build in it, like Minecraft. And you can level thralls and have battles with everybody, PvP. Both the PvE and the PvP is on the same map, in the same instance. That is only 111 gigs. And then you got Destiny 2, which in my opinion has fewer assets than Minecraft and Conan Exiles, and definitely fewer assets than Elder Scrolls Online. And it comes in at 116 gigabytes. There are times when I get updates, when I was playing a lot of different games, there were times where I had to deinstall Minecraft and Conan Exiles because they were both the fastest to reinstall. Because the reinstall for Destiny is also practically all day for 116 gigabytes. ESO takes about half a day. And this again is, of course, to dominate the real estate. Dominate your real estate in terms of your time, dominate your real estate in terms of your console, physical memory. And that is something you can do. There's no law or oversight that says that your game can't be over a certain number of megs. In fact, or gigs. I think at one point Sony was trying to restrict developers to the number of gigabytes they can put in their game, and for a while, Bungie was claiming that they were reaching their so-called limit, which is what? I guess it must be like 200 gigs for that to happen. And that's why they sunsetted all that shit. No, they sunsetted all that crap because people weren't engaging anymore. We were content with the weapons and armor that we had for our characters. We had leveled them and built them to the maximum we could possibly manage, so we weren't engaging in the game anymore. There was no need to farm the content anymore for more stuff. I think subconsciously I nuked my hunter and all the gear he had because I wasn't growing. I had reached that paywall and that effort wall for my hunter, and I wasn't playing any other classes. And I'll be honest, the only reason why I have a Titan and a Warlock is so I could triple dip for the Bright Dust. And also boost the Gunsmith reputation, because Gunsmith reputation, vendor reputation is account based, but bounty progression towards Bright Dust and Pinnacle Gear isn't. So that's what pushes me out of the game. The fact that once I've completed the so-called weekly activities for my hunter, then it's just free play for me. I pick up gunsmith bounties and I progress along with those. I go out and I farm for different builds, I craft weapons and I level them. I'm still playing the game. There is a lot to play in this game with just one character. You're never going to, anybody who gets all three characters maxed out before the reset, I used to be that person. And I'm going to tell you, I didn't do anything else but play Destiny. I wasn't playing ESO. I wasn't playing Skyrim. I wasn't even playing with my friends. I'm not in the game in the real world. Yeah, believe it or not. All my socializing happened in the game. I remember eating lunch, breakfast, and dinner at the table while playing Destiny because I was doing a raid. And this is what's dawning on everybody. After 10 years of doing that, we're all sitting back and going, we don't want this anymore. We want to have our time and our money respected. And apparently, the people they let go at Bungie were the ones who were listening to us and saying, hey, let's spend some of that money we got from Sony to do some of these things for the players. And they're like, no, we don't want to do that. We don't want to spend that money. The players are fine the way they are. The execs were saying that, more than likely. And those are the people they let go. 100 jobs, 108 jobs, 8%. 8% of the company got let go. That's 800 people in the company, and 100 of them got let go. Is that right? Or is it 1,200 people there? My math's fucked up. Doesn't matter. So here's some of the things that I would like to see changed in the game that aren't going to mechanically affect anything as far as balance is concerned, but may in fact open up avenues of play that would entice players to actually play the game. Plus, reduce the footprint that this game has on your consoles or your PC. First and foremost, I'd like to see some agnostic armor. Stuff that any class can wear. Preferably in the legendary slot. Having exotic armor that is just for the Titan, Hunter, and Warlock, that's fine. That's part of their identity, so to speak. Although there was the Crest of Alpha Lupe in Destiny 1, which helped you resurrect your allies faster and generated more orbs of power on supers. And every class got one. I think Titans got a chest. I think everybody got a chest piece. And now it's just a Titan thing, I think. All progress is account-based. So you earned your Bright Dust. You did the 24 bounties across the Vanguard, across the playlist, the ritual playlist, and that you earned your Bright Dust. That's it. Okay? That means I wouldn't have to have a Titan and a Warlock, because that's the only reason why I have them, is to triple down on the Bright Dust earnings. Build locks for PvP and Gambit. Going into a strike or nightfall or a raid, you're going to have intel. You're going to know what you're going to expect. So, thematically, narratively speaking, I'm talking about the immersion. These are things that help build immersion for the player in the game. Because when a player is immersed in the universe of the game, they stay in the game. They stay playing in the game. They don't think about whether or not they're grinding. They're binging. I am a binge player. I like to be immersed in the game setting. I come to Destiny to get away from the shit that I'm immersed in all the time, all the regular. I come here for a power fantasy. And when I have to think about the fact that, I gotta grind through my Titan and my Warlock because I don't like playing them if I want to keep up. If I'm thinking about doing shit to keep up, so I'm not missing out or falling behind, that's just like the real world. Why would I want to do that shit in a game, right? Alright, so, account-based progress for everything. all inventory, engrams, basic inventory, everything, all shared by all the characters. Also, for the actual activities, take that seasonal content that you're so excited about, Bungie, and just move it to Nightfalls. Leave the Vanguard Ops, the basic Vanguard Ops, as planetary strikes. No one's going to fault you for it. When the fastest thing you can do in the game is play Mayhem, the second fastest thing you can do in the game is play Rumble, and the third fastest thing you can do in the game is play Control, because you get a finite amount of minutes in those games. Assign some finite minutes to Vanguard Ops and Nightfalls. In Nightfall, it kind of happens, or actually in the Vanguard Ops too. Over 15 minutes, the darkness starts to consume you or encroach upon you and stuff like that. Things become more difficult. Your score starts dropping and all kinds of other ugly things. So the game does encourage you to play quicker, but then it pads up the activities with fucking bullet sponges and tanks. The Arms Dealer and the Lake of Shadows were my two favorite strikes to do, well, apart from the Inverted Spire, because they were quick. You could burn them down in about 7 to 8 minutes on the average. I've actually been in instances in Lake of Shadow where I was just playing as a Blueberry with two others that, none of us were in the fire team. None of us were talking on microphone. We blasted through that strike, I think in about 6.5 minutes. It was the fastest run I ever did. It was about 6:45 maybe. And then they had to update that shit because of Lightfall by adding all this extra darkness crap into it. And I understand that part of it was to tie the themes together and get people enticed into buying Lightfall. But if I find the updated strikes that I held dear and near to me to be frustrating to the point where I just wasn't engaging anymore, I was just floating along, pushing buttons, what the fuck is Lightfall going to do to me? How the fuck am I played the first chapter of Lightfall, because you get the demo chapter, and I was not impressed. I went to Neomuna on my own a couple of times just to see if I could do a lost sector. I was so grossly underpowered. I wasn't able to get through it. I couldn't do it. I could barely pull off a public event. And here in the Season of the Lost, there's an achievement you can acquire, a secret achievement you can acquire by wearing the mask of Nimbus and killing 100 enemies with Strand on Neomuna. Now, fortunately, Strand weapons drop for everybody, regardless of whether or not you bought the expansion or not. But having the power levels and the ability to actually even just play that space is prohibitive. And it's a feel-bad moment. And when I'm faced with a feel-bad moment, I don't engage. And if I'm not engaging, I'm not spending. That's the thing I'm trying to impart upon Bungie here with these videos that I do, these specific types of videos where I'm just talking head or character, is that the more shit you give me, the more access you grant me, the more likely I am to buy the premium shit. Seriously. My family and I, we're not premium players when it comes to vacations. We like nice hotels. We do get reservations at some of the fancier in-park restaurants. I'm talking about Disneyland. And we were pass holders for a while. But the more cool stuff that the Disney park features provided us through our annual pass holder, the more inclined we were to pay for the premium experiences, like terrace viewing of the fireworks with a dinner, or the higher end reservations at Goofy's Kitchen, because that's expensive as fuck. I'll tell you that. It's enjoyable too. The food is really, really good. The service is fantastic. The character parade is just, the smiles on people's faces is amazing. I love seeing that. But that's what I'm trying to say, is that if you open up access a bit more to the players in the game, there'd be less feel-bad moments for us. We would put our controls down, eager to pick them back up again when next we could. Now everybody's looking for a reason to put their controllers down and not come back. And Bungie is literally just serving up those instances for us in the game and in their politics with dealing with their company. Bungie players are community-driven, passionate people. A little tribal, too, unfortunately. And that's why this whole class system here, I think that class systems in games really should be gone. There's a RPG that I'm waiting to get this month. I did a Kickstarter for Knave 2.0 by Ben Milton, the Questing Beast. Tabletop role-playing game. And Knave, I bought the original PDF of Knave, and it is a super simple system. I think it spans no more than 6 pages, the original PDF. The Knave 2.0 has been grown to a 200-plus page book, and it's chock full of goodness. I'm so excited, and I've been reading some of the PDF. I've been trying not to go too far through the PDF because I really want my experience to be connected to the book experience. I don't mind digital content when it comes to tabletop gaming, but I really do prefer the physical things in my hands because it's the physical tabletop that I'm playing on. Point being is that you play as a knave. You're not a hero. You're not a protagonist. You are a scoundrel. You're a thief. You're a beggar. You're a muscle for hire. You're a beetle or a bully boy. You're a knave. And your character is defined. Your character's role in the dungeon is defined by the equipment and the skills they choose. And I think that Destiny should have always been that. Because Bungie does really, really great with a single or duo protagonist. Halo 1 and Halo 2 were my two most favorite games to play. I played Halo Reach only because it was part of the narrative, and it was one of the last games that Bungie would actually work on for Microsoft and Xbox. And I was leaving Xbox after that. And I did. I left Xbox 360 shortly after that. And migrated it to PlayStation because Bungie was releasing a Halo-like type game, but it was set in a universe recovering from a calamity. And I like that kind of setting. I like that setting. A lot of the reasons why I like Warhammer 40K is because it's a war-torn galaxy in a setting that is recovering from a calamity, which was the Eye of Terra. But back to Knave 2.0 and the skill-based character creation. Having skill-based characters opens up more play options. So making armor agnostic like they do for Elder Scrolls Online would be a great way to start, you know. But then again, you wouldn't need to have 2 other characters. If everything was account-based, the power levels, the armor, the inventories, the engrams, if everything was shareable by any character you create, then having the 2 alternate characters would just be to, like, play a human or play an awoken, which I have. But I played an exo hunter, a human hunter, and an awoken hunter. It would just be for fluff. And I mean, if you had just the one character and they could swap through subclasses, not just these, but down in here, you know, this could be a Titan, Solar Titan tank, Solar Titan damager, Solar Warlock, you know, Void Hunter, Stasis Hunter, Strand Hunter, and have multiple palettes of this. Instead of just having it be a sidebar, add another screen down below this crap. You know, it'd be so much fucking easier. Not putting power levels on gear at least. Even if you just put power levels back on the character instead of the gear, you would see more engaged gameplay than just mindless farming. But that might be all that Bungie cares about. They're only looking at the number of hours that's being played. And they only just recently started looking at the number of units they've sold. Because whoever took over the development team for Bungie's, you know, the internal parts of the game, the merchandising, the monetizing part of the game, whoever took over the monetizing part of the game was trying to run it like an app, like a mobile game. And you can't. It's not a mobile game. Destiny 2 can never be a mobile game just because of the scope that it is and the features that it has. It can never do that. So, yeah, I have the other characters, but it doesn't mean anything. I only care about my hunter. I only like playing the hunter. That's what I'm going to be doing. And I'm not going to be breaking my ass to try and do that because there doesn't seem to be any progress. This game has a lot to do in it, but a lot of it is kind of stale. And I don't know about you, but I like fresh food. Anyway, that's all I got to share. Thanks for stopping by.